Hey guys, my name is Andrea, also known as the Cat Lady. That's 2TCATT, which stands for craft all the things. However, today is going to be a little bit of a different episode because I have not been crafting all the things. And instead, I thought I would share a slight, not obsession per se, but a slight interest thing that's been going on with us around here. And just, it's currently pretty popular. And of course, if you read the title, you already know what I'm going to talk about. But have you heard of Labubu? So I was going to go into a little bit of the history of, I have some notes, of course, and whatever, but I was going to go into a little history of Labubu and how it kind of has taken over here, but not as bad as, I'm not even going to say bad, not as much as it could take over, because as you dig deep into these rabbit holes and of things that are considered collectibles, the vast amount of things that people get into is just crazy. And so we have just stuck our little pinky toe into the Labubu world. But anyways, I will start by saying, if you like interesting, different content, please let me know, because again, I have not been recording regularly because I've not been crafting regularly. I will probably do a quick short soon to kind of update on where I am with some of my crafts, but I am primarily a knitter and crocheter, so that is usually what my content is. But again, today I just haven't recorded in a while and I want to do something different, so this is what we're doing. So sit back, grab a beverage, and watch as I descend into Labubu madness. So Labubus are a collectible, so they're not necessarily designed for kids. They are little stuffies that look like they would be made for kids, but honestly on the packaging it says not for, I think it was like, made for 14 and up or something. So I made the joke with David. I'm like, sorry, you're too young, you cannot have one, because he is only 13. They are a collectible plush toy created by Casing Lung, who is the maker designer of Labubus, or the monsters as they are called. So the monsters is the overall theme of the collection, and then they have different names, but Labubu, typically the popular ones are Labubu. They are sold now by Pop Mart. That wasn't the original seller of these little creatures, and I'll go into that a little bit. But the monsters were influenced by Nordic folklore, and some people have compared them to like Where the Wild Things Are by Maurice Sendak, which was also inspired by like different folklore stuff. So perhaps they had some of the same inspirations. However, Maurice Sendak has said that Where the Wild Things Are kind of, it was based on some of his Jewish heritage and some of that history, but the art style was also influenced by like mythology and stuff. So they probably have a little bit of an overlap as far as that, because yes, their little toothy grins definitely look like the monsters of the Wild Things. They were first introduced in 2015, so technically the monsters / Labubus are 10 years old, but they weren't a thing until the last like 2 years. They were sold through another company until they started to collaborate with Pop Mart in 2019. Pop Mart also sells a large number of other collectibles. Their whole concept is the blind box. So if you don't know what a blind box is, it's a, there's a collection. So as for an example, like the collection that some of the Labubus are, it's 6/7. I'm not going to do it. If you know, you know. Figures, and you don't know what you're going to get until you open the box. So blind boxes, blind little packets have been around forever. Similar to like Pokemon cards, baseball cards, where you don't know what's in the packet until you open it. So it's kind of this fun little game you get to play because you don't know what you're going to get, but it's within this little category. So for a lot of the Labubus, there are 6 regular ones, and then there's a secret one. So you're obviously, the secret one is like, everybody wants to get the secret one. Usually the percentage or the ratio of regulars to secrets is difference. I don't have the actual factoid on that. So, but Pop Mart also sells like Skull Panda, Crybaby, Space Molly. They do collabs with Harry Potter and Disney characters, and they're all just these little figurines. It's similar to like, my cat's gonna jump and I'm gonna have to stop. It's similar to, say, Funko Pops, kind of, except those aren't blind boxes, but they're collectibles. They're all sorts of themes. And so the concept of a blind box is definitely by no means new. And they've been around. And the concept of a collectible like toy is not new either. So similar to like Beanie Babies, which those were designed to be little toys for kids, but turned into like a collectible. And people, I think, are understanding now that there's no real resale value. Now, the secrets, those do have a bit of a resale value. But again, as time goes on and the fad fades away, those prices will soon come down as well. So they collabed with Pop Mart in 2019. So that's still quite a while ago, and it still didn't really hit popularity. So it sparked a trend in Southeast East Asia, which eventually kind of started to trickle out into the rest of the world. But what really got them popular was in 2024, K-pop group Blackpink member Lisa was spotted with a Labubu keychain on her bag. And that is like the way to display your Labubus. Not me personally, and I will go into that, but like you can clip them to your bag and walk around, and it's like a little bag accessory. Don't 100% recommend that because of not nice people in the world that either will yell at you for carrying a little demon on your bag, because there's that whole thing, or people just flat out cutting them off and stealing them. So just kind of a bummer. The most popular, there's currently like 300 different Labubu figurine that are range in size and price. There's some that are like really big. There's the little keychain ones and all sorts of little monsters. The current lines that are most popular are the exciting macaron. I think it's macaron. It's not macaroon, it's macaron. And those were launched in 2023. And that is, I'll put some pictures up while I talk, hopefully, to explain what they are. So that's a set of little macaron flavors. So lychee berry, green grape, soy milk, and they're kind of a pastel-y colored, cute little figures with the toothy grins. They look a little mischievous. And then, yeah, that was one thing I was going to read you. So the official definition of Labubu is a Labubu is a small, sharp-toothed monster with pointed ears from Hong Kong illustrator Casing Lung's story series, The Monsters. The series is inspired by Nordic mythology and features a cast of quirky characters, both good and evil, including Zamomo, which I think is one of like the big ones, Taikoko, Spooky, and Pato. Labubu is the most well-known character. Despite appearing mischievous, Labubu is kind-hearted and always tries to help, though often accidentally makes things worse. So they are kind-hearted little monsters that tend to make things worse by trying to help. So it sounds like children sometimes. So the next series was a have a seat. So they're like seated. So they look like they're sitting. You got ones that are like got the little sleepy eyes. You got the ones that are laughing with the little laughing eyes, and then the just open-eyed typical face. And that's my second favorite line. I do kind of want to have a seat one, preferably maybe the ones with either the laughing eyes or the sleeping eyes. I just think those are super cute. And then those were released in July of 2024. And then the last round, that there's been subsequently some more, but the last more popular round that's still kind of big is the Big Into Energy. And those are all I guess energies. So that is the set that we got. So I'll show you more of the Big Into Energy. And those launched in April of 2025. So actually those are relatively new. So those are the newest. And I think they have a yoga set that just came out. They have newer ones since, but as far as the popular ones go, Big Into Energy is the latest drop in April. They've done other collaborations. They have like a Coca-Cola series that was out. They had a One Piece series. They have the newest series is now Why So Serious? So it's like a Joker based. So they're dressed in these like little like Joker clown suits and have little face paint on them. So that is the newest drop as of like very recently, September, October. So that is like kind of a brief history of Labubu. You can buy them at a Pop Mart store, or the most typical way to get them is the Pop Mart app or online, but the app is a little easier, I feel like, especially if you're on your phone, or TikTok Live. So they have TikTok channels that are official Pop Mart channels, there's like a Spanish channel, there's the US channel, and then there's probably like the overseas channel. So there's numerous TikTok lives that you can just order them via TikTok. And honestly, if you order them via TikTok, typically they are shipped from the US warehouse. So shipping, we're going to go into shipping. So it's possibly better to order from TikTok Live, although there are issues there too. The PopMart app, however, has two ways of ordering. You can either order flat out, however, they're out of stock all the time. So you wait for the drops to come, and then you got to like spam until you get it in your cart and check out, which is a process. And the same with this one too, but Pop Now. So if you order from the regular app and just add to cart, whatever, when it drops, you get then your shipment shipped to you, and it's all blind boxes and you don't know what you're going to get. But you can have, so when people are trying to collect certain ones, so to make their collections, you can do the Pop Now option, which then you do the same thing where you add it to your cart, but I haven't done it personally, but you can, apparently they give you like hints. They say this box doesn't, some boxes will start scrolling through, so you'll know, okay, big into energy, it's not this one or this character. They'll give you like a hint of what it's not. So if you're like, oh, I don't want such and such or so and so, then you can click it. Now you have to buy it, and then it'll open online. So once you check out and are processing, the orders processing, it'll show you what you got. So you know in advance what you're getting. However, so there's a little bit of like, it's still a gamble, but you at least can eliminate a couple of the choices. So out of like the 6 choices, you'll know it's not at least 1 or 2 of them. That's how I think it works. Again, I've never done it personally, but a lot of people do that, and they do it multiple boxes, and they got multiple orders going, and they got like 3 or 4 duplicates of the same one. So it's definitely a gamble, and it's definitely like a thing for people that are trying to complete their collection. Another thing you can do though, if you get a whole box at one time, which is 6, you are guaranteed no duplicates. So if you can find, if you make it during the drop, so it says, okay, on this date, this time, we're going to release stock. If you get one and you get a box, supposedly no duplicates. So you get the box of 6. Now it might have a secret in there, which would of course be awesome. So then you'd be missing one in your set of all 7. But at least if you're ordering a full case box of 6, you're not getting a duplicate. So that is kind of how it works. So personally, onto my personal discovery story. Early summer, they're starting to gain they've been gaining traction apparently since 2024, but like the more it kind of entered into my circle probably earlier this summer. I heard other creators talking about them. I've seen, celebrities and etc. I don't care. I'm not really into the trends and the FOMOs, but sometimes it does catch up with me. So I saw that, I'm like, these are ugly. These are stupid. This is the stupidest thing ever, and they're ugly, and I don't know why anyone wants them. They just grow on you. They just grow on you. So like, kept seeing them. Oh, and we have a PopMart vending machine at our local mall, and so they were sold in stores for a while until they just completely like sold out everywhere, and they were being sold in these vending machines as well. So the lines for these vending machines in the mall were like miles long. Hours of waiting to maybe get up to the vending machine and get a box. Now they still have the PopMart vending machine box or vending machine at my mall, but they stopped putting Labubus in there at some point. So, we'd go to the mall and we'd check to see if anything was there. But I think I had heard at some point they eventually just stopped putting them in there because it was too chaotic and people were just like camping out, and it was just insane. And that led to like, this is stupid. This is so stupid. That was like fueling my stupidity, but also fueling this FOMO. Like, well, maybe just one. Maybe I get one. Okay. I download the PopMart app and I'm like, maybe I just want one. I just want one just to have one. And Emily's like, I want one too. And I'm like, okay, I'll get 2. And then Jim, of course, was like, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. But as soon as I told him that me and Emily were going to get one, he's like, well, you should get me one and David one too. I'm like, but you don't like care. And David didn't care. And I'm like, you guys don't care. He's like, it could be fun. Just, if you're gonna get one, just get one for all else. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm gonna get 4, it's gonna be easier for me just to get a box of 6. Just gonna get a box of 6, and there'll be no duplicates, and me and Emily will get 2. Solved. Problem solved. So you think. So I got onto I downloaded the PopMart app, or I started like getting into the Reddit threads and stuff to see what the best way to order is. And like, cause I looked online and, you know, the website was clunky on the phone, and I'm usually not on the computer. So someone had mentioned it's easier to order on the app. So I'm like, okay, I'll download the app, set up an account, and I put them in my, like it said, notify when in stock, which of course, like by the time they notify you, it's too late. So I think I did the notify, and then it's like I got an email that, oh, they're in stock, but it was like 10 minutes later they were already gone. I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work. So then eventually they tell you in advance when the drop is. Okay, so like, there's a drop tonight at 9:30, and they were all at night. So it was like 9:30 at night on a random July, August day. And I sat and waited. So night 1, I sat and waited. They went live. I put it in my cart. It was gone. It was like literally like 30 seconds. They were gone. I was like, and I expected it. I really didn't expect to get any. But now it was in my cart. So that was like step 1. You get it in your cart and it stays in your cart. Because before you had to add it to your cart and then you had to check out. So this time now it's in my cart. So okay, step 1, I'm 1 step ahead now. So the second night, which it was either the next day or a couple of days later, next drop, 10 o'clock at night, 9:30, whatever it was. Okay, set my alarm, sitting around waiting, and then you just got to keep clicking, add to cart or check out. At that point, it was in my cart. So, or I think you might have had to move it from your bag to your cart or something, but it was like already there. So I just had to keep doing. They were gone. I was like, I think I made it to the checkout part, but then it was gone. It's like, okay. So night 3, third time's a charm, almost a mishap. Make it in my cart, make it a checkout. I need to enter in my credit card. I'm like, because there's no place to put in your credit card to save. I think now that it's in there, it's saved, but prior to that, I couldn't like put it in advance. I'm entering and I didn't have my credit card on me because I don't know, I just wasn't thinking it was going to go through. Entering my credit card, blah, 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 blah. Submit. Jim gets a text on his phone. Is this a legit charge on your account? I'm like, yes. And so he says yes. And then it says, oh, please contact the seller you might need a reorder. I'm like, oh crap. Okay, well, we may not have got it. Sitting in our pending, it's processing on our pending in our credit card. I'm like, okay, well, it's still there. So I'm like, I'm just going to email. So I emailed customer service. I said, hey, blah, 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 this is what happened. Just want to verify my order is still there, or if I can pay a different way if I need to. And they said, nope, your order's fine. All good. I'm like, okay, great. Oh, I got to read the email. Okay. So hi, my credit card flagged this order. We approved it, but may need to run through again. Can you reprocess the card if it was denied on your end, or can I pay via PayPal? Just want to be sure my order goes through. And they responded pretty quick. So I sent that message at, looks like 10:24. I got an email like 20 minutes later, which is I didn't expect. Dear customer, thank you for your patience. After inquiry, your order has been successful. Have a great life. That just made me laugh. If you need further assistance, blah, blah, blah. But like, have a great life. Okay, thank you. And I responded, thank you. And then they responded, you are welcome. It is our pleasure. Thank you for your understanding. Your satisfaction is the motivation for us to always try our best. If you have any questions, have a nice day. So that one they said, have a nice day. So I think that's what they meant the first time, but it came out, have a great life. And that definitely made me laugh. And if you go through some of these Reddit groups, like the Labubu groups, there's some definitely translation issues with customer service that are funny. So I ordered these on August 1st. And when I ordered on August 1st, it had a delivery date of September 24th. So I knew going in, this was a pre-order, and I was going to get it mid-September. So, and obviously we had the issue with the credit card, and I was like, okay, well, if we get it, we get it. No idea. So moving forward from there, I started getting into the Reddit groups. So there's the Labubu Reddit, there's the labubudrops, which is like they try to alert you when there's drops or swaps, and there's like a labubuswap, so for resellers and stuff like that, for people that are getting all the duplicates trying to sell. whole bunch. They just, once you start looking at one or two, they all just start being recommended on your thing. So I started following some of them. That is when things got kind of scary because I'm following the Labubu sites and people that are ordering from PopMart, and things are not great in the shipping side of things or in just the general, since they're so popular. People are getting their packages stolen from their porches or stolen from postal workers. They're getting boxes that are opened and junk. Like literally someone said they had socks stuck in the box. So one of the normal boxes looks like this. And like people will open them from the bottom. You can get the thing out, you can shove something else in, reseal it, and it looks like it hasn't been used, but usually people can tell if they've been resealed. But then there's a pull tab here, so like they're preserving like the look of the box being unopened. So there's that whole thing. The PopMart box comes with like PopMart tape all over it and everything. It's very obvious, so people know. So when they're being shipped, unsavory people are going through and taking, and they're looking for the secrets because those are like the, you know, special ones that you can resell for more. They are not cheap. They're like $27 or they're like $28 a piece, which is a lot for a little stuffy keychain. 100% aware that this was very splurge purchase that was unnecessary, and it was like kind of a one and done-ish thing. So so I'm reading all these things about like, are people getting fakes? So there's lots of fakes going around, and they are called lafufus. So we will talk about lafufus in a moment. But people are opening them and like not knowing if they're real or not, and just it was so chaotic. I'm like, okay, well, if we get the box, it's a miracle. Step one. So like step one, if we get it, it's going to be a miracle. And I'm just like, I'm waiting for him to do a chargeback or whatever if it doesn't come. So I'm prepared. So my expectations were in check. I was like, okay, if we get it, we get it. We'll see. And finally, around September 6th, I got the notification that it was being shipped. And the way it's shipped is shipped overseas. It's coming from overseas. Unless you order from TikTok Live. But they're having the same problem because they're shipping it from the US side, but people are still going in and stealing and, you know, stuff like that. And I think there was even a news story that like police caught a couple people that had like a whole truck full of Labubus that were stolen from a warehouse. So it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I know it's ridiculous. So I'm fully aware of the ridiculousness that all of this is. So they use third-party shippers. There's three popular ones that I've heard talked about. It's Gofo, Yun, and Yanwen. Mine came via Yanwen. And basically, these are third-party shippers that will pick it up from the US side and then deliver it. But then some of them will end up dropped off at USPS. But some of them don't. Mine never went through USPS, which apparently was a good thing because there's a whole issue. But again, a lot of these people were having trouble with specifically like Gofo, packages being lost or just never being delivered, or it says it's delivered and it's not, and like all these things. So I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. Okay. So September 6th, I got the confirmation. I followed the tracking, and it came in 10 days, which I thought was really good. And it showed me like when it was overseas and when it went through customs and blah, blah, blah. There's no issues with like fees or anything. So everything went very smoothly. So thank goodness. But it's been very inconsistent. So mine came also, being that all these issues are happening with people's packages, trying to get PopMart to either refund, replace has been very difficult. And very, just as good as their customer service was for me at the beginning, it's just not good for if you've lost if their package is lost, or if it's stolen, or if it's wrong. Even if they send you the wrong item, like they've been coming back with like, oh, we'll give you a $3 coupon for your next, a $3 coupon for my next purchase. So no, for a 20, 30, some of these are like $100. So the ones that are like full sized, they're like hundreds of dollars, $100-something. So like a $3 coupon for that, no. And most people just want their stuff. They want a replacement. So like they don't even want a refund. They want a replacement. And not until you literally file a chargeback will customer service come back. You're like, oh, can you cancel your chargeback because blah, blah, blah. We'll send you a refund. But like, you can't trust them. So they're very shoddy customer service. But everything came. The box was perfect. But anyways, being that, they recommend you take an unboxing video. Like legitimately, you better be recording every part of the process, because if something's wrong, they need to see video proof that it's wrong, because it'd be easy to just, like, oh, well, if it's something you didn't want, this isn't what I ordered, or blah, 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 or it was missing, you could easily scam them, which honestly, the community is so wholesome, except for the people that are stealing. The community is so wholesome, like people just want their stuff, and people are fine with duplicates, and people are just really friendly and kind, and like they just want it Pop Mart to do them right. So, but if you ever order a Labubu, you better do an unboxing video, because if anything goes wrong, they want video proof. So we did. So I set up my tripod. I had soup on the stove that overflowed at one point. I'm not going to show the video because I just left it running for so long, and we opened them. I might show a little snippet while I talk. But so before the opening, so it came in a big box. So this is like the display box that you would see at the store. So technically you can pop open this top and open the box, and then you'd have your display. So this is the box. So this is the Big Into Energy series, like I said. And you can tear this part off here. So you can just like open it like a display. These are the figures that you can get. So they're all like little energies, I guess. I don't know how you describe those words. So loyalty, hope, love, luck, happiness, and serenity. And then the secret, which is not listed on here, is a gray one, and he is called id, or people call him ID, but I think it's id, like the whole consciousness thing. So you get that box, and it was nicely saran wrapped and everything, so I knew it hadn't been tampered with. I had everyone pick which one they wanted, because we knew potentially there was going to be just the 6 in here. And so I wanted to make sure everyone got kind of what they wanted, and I was hoping there wouldn't be much overlap. However, David wanted love. He wanted the pink one. Everyone was cool with that. Emily said she liked loyalty. I'm like, I like loyalty too, but my second favorite is luck. And Jim, being the one that's like, these are all stupid, why are we doing this? He's like, well, I like luck, but it doesn't matter. That's what he said. He liked luck, but it doesn't matter. Remember that. So we all picked a box randomly, and we all opened a box. David opened love, so he got the one he wanted. So that was fun. I opened loyalty, which technically was the one I wanted, but I gave it to Emily because that was her favorite pick. Jim opened luck, and I took it, and he didn't want to give it to me, but he said he didn't care. He said any of them. He said luck, but any of them. I wanted luck or loyalty. I gave away my loyalty, so I took luck. And then me and Emily opened the second one, and I opened, I guess I can show you. So I have David's here. So this is what love is, and they got little painted toenails. They have QR codes on the tag and the boxes. The ones on the thing to verify their authenticity. They're very hard to scan. We didn't scan them all. I scanned the box. I think I scanned one of the boxes. I scanned one of them. I don't know. I was pretty confident they were legit. They look legit. There was no issues. There's a little bit of quality control in some of them, but for the most part, they look good. They got a little colored tooth. They have 9 teeth, which some of the fakes before didn't have 9 teeth, so you could tell that way. And they got this little keychain, and this is what you're supposed to collect or clip to your bag or something, and walk around. So that was love, and this one is. So Emily opened hope as her second one, I think. And she ended up trading with, or giving it to Jim. How did that work? Yeah, so she gave this one to Jim because I took his. So she said, which one do you want? And which other one do you want? So she had opened the blue one. So she took the blue one. I had opened, I don't even remember now. I wrote it down. So David opened love. Emily opened hope and happiness, which is happiness, is the orange one. So she opened hope and happiness. I opened, okay, that's what happened. So I opened loyalty and then serenity, which is the green one. I don't have the green one in front of me. So me and Emily ended up switching serenity And so I gave Emily loyalty. Emily gave hope to Jim. I took Jim's luck. And then me and Emily had the extra, the green one and the orange one. I took the orange one. She kept the green one. That's how that went. So this is happiness. Because I like the peachy orange colored. So, and this is, okay. So you think it would end there, right? We're done. We got them. We got our one and done. Technically two. We're done. Me and Emily kept joking. We really wanted a secret. David and Jim didn't care as much about that. Thankfully, we didn't get a secret because we probably all would have fought over it, even though nobody cared except for me and Emily. And I probably would have had to give it to Emily. But anyway, so no secret, which was good. So fast forward to, I'm like, okay, well, I feel bad that I took the luck, okay? I mean, I do feel bad. That was my second favorite. I gave Emily mine that I opened. Jim wouldn't stop mentioning the fact that he opened that one. That should be his. I'm like, really? Really? The person that's like, okay, second cares the second least. David's probably the one that cares the least. And you're going to do this to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to find some fakes, some Lafufus. So you can get Lafufus. Now, personally, I don't mind that there's fakes. You know, that's fine as long as they're clear that they're fake. So the problem is there's so many fakes that are being sold as legitimate. Gas stations, mall, kiosks, etc. They're saying they're real. They're not real. They're not real. So stop. There's no such thing as getting Labubus unless it's from Pop Mart. Like they are not. There's no authorized resellers that I'm aware of, especially not at the gas station. So people are getting scammed because they're paying full price. I'm like, okay, I'm not paying full price for a Lafufu. I'm not paying $30 for a fake Labubu. Okay. So I found a seller, again, after doing some research on Reddit and stuff, that was on TikTok Live and was selling Lafufus. And it was very sketchy because they were selling Labubu raincoats, really. So you'd go on the live, she'd have all the little display with all the dolls, and you'd have to remember a number. And then you go to checkout, and when you're checking out for a Labubu raincoat, but then putting in the number of the doll you want. It's like, okay, this is really weird. However, they were only $5. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to order a few. If I'm out $20, it's fine. So I ordered 3 secrets. I figured, okay, so I wanted to get the luck for Jim. So I ordered the luck, and then I'm like, well, me and Emily want a secret, and I just ordered David a secret because he didn't care, but I couldn't not get him one. So they were $5 each, plus $5 shipping. And they were coming from somewhere in the US. And I'm like, sure, why not? So we got our secrets, or we got our Lafufus. And first things first is there's no QR code on there. So first things first, they came in a tear bag, which is like the old style bag, which they don't really come in anymore. They come in more of a drawstring bag. Oh yeah, I guess I can show you. So they come in the box. There's a QR code on the back of the box you can scan, but again, people will mess with what's in the box, so it's more important to scan the actual doll. Then they come with a card. So they come with a little card. It's big into energy, says what it is on there. So those were the cards. And they came in this little drawstring bag. Now, they used to come in like a tear-off bag. So they'd come in the tear-off box and then a tear-off bag. So they changed to these little drawstring bags so you can kind of store them in there if you want, and they're just different bags. The Lafufu came in a tear-off bag, so I threw those out. I mean, I don't really need to keep all these, but whatever. And they came with cards, but they came with like the wrong kinds of cards. So like, I don't know what this is. So the 3 secrets came with cards that said black and white and said exciting macaron on the back. So these were completely wrong. The luck came with a card that says big into energy, but it's not the same card. So it's like squared off and it's smaller. Not much smaller. It's a little smaller, but these got rounded corners. So it's definitely different. And I don't know, just everything's different. This one's got like a kind of a sheen to it. So it's definitely fake. But again, I knew I was wearing fake. But this is what it looks like. So, you know, here's a real one. There's a fake one. So first glance, it looks pretty much legit. If it was hanging on my bag, I don't think anyone would care or think any different. Only if you start looking for it. So it's got the 9 teeth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, if you start looking at the teeth, though, the paint job is not very good on the teeth. The paint job is actually, his toes are pretty good. Some of the toes are not good, so I don't have one with the bad toes. So yeah, so the toenails, the paint jobs aren't the best. Sometimes the nose is a little crooked here too. The ears are technically like these. I mean, this is a really good Lafufu, to be honest. The ears sometimes are like farther apart, but the ears look all right. They look a little fat, maybe a little fatter. The eyes look a little different. They're not as the eyes are a little too big. So if you look at the pupils on this one, they're pretty centered and a little bit smaller. These ones are a bit bigger and a little off center. The coloring, you know, he's a little more orangey than this one. So very minor differences. Again, that's why I didn't care. And it was $5. But oh, okay. And I just noticed, I don't think that's on mine. Okay, so just noticed something. So on mine, spoiler, he's got a costume. On mine, the tag says Pop Mart and it says the Monsters. And I just noticed, this is David's, it says the MQ Inseers. So it would definitely a typo on the tag. And it says PQR Mara on the other side. So something happened with the tag. I'll have to look at Emily's. I did not even notice that. So yeah, there's some concerns. So I would hate if someone spent $30 on this one because it's not legitimate. So that was that. So that was that. Right? Wrong. Jim would not stop bringing up the luck. I gave him the luck Lafufu. He's like, I want mine. I'm like, oh my God. Really? And he just took it at one point. He's like, here, you can take the Lafufu and I'm going to take. I'm like, well, fine. I'm going to go order luck to replace the one you've taken from me because I want it, and loyalty because I want loyalty, and I gave that away. So I found a reseller on Reddit, and thankfully there's a group, I think it's the labubuswap group, I don't know, it's either swap or drops, I don't remember, that is very protected. They protect the sellers and the buyers. So if you find someone, if they do legitimate amounts of swaps, it's like tagged in their username and they're verified. Like, so people have to comment for the flare to be updated on Reddit. So I found a seller that was selling both luck and loyalty because I'm like, I'm not making two separate transactions. And she had 120 something swaps. So this is someone that's an avid collector, just likes to resell. I don't know. She's upsold it just a hair. So it was like 30 something dollars by the time I paid for shipping and then all that stuff. So per piece. So, so it was just a hair of an upsell, but I got them in a week. They were nicely packaged. These were a pop now, so they were already labeled. So I think legitimately these weren't opened because again, usually people will open them, see what they are, and then close them back up if they want to resell them if it's a duplicate. So, but she had done these pop now, so it probably was like you obviously get duplicates with pop now because you are trying to get something and then you end up getting a bunch of duplicates. So she had luck and loyalty. And she sent me some stickers, which were super cute. And she sent me this little pendant thingy. So it was like just a little bonus. So it's a little monster. And this is like the happy eyes that I liked from like the seeded one. So if I got one of those. So I got this little pendant. But I got my loyalty, just this one. We scanned the boxes. The boxes were legitimate. We scanned one of these and it was legitimate. We couldn't scan the other one because again, the QR codes are so small on here and they're just so smooshed. They're just really hard to read. So, but I'm very confident they're legit. So I got my luck and loyalty, legitimate ones. And again, they're just better quality in general. Now, are they perfect? No, like it's got some kind of weird legs going on here, but oh no, this is the Lafufu. No, this is Jim's. No, now I'm confused. No, this is Lafufu. This is no, I don't remember. This is Lafufu. I have two lucks here. Both of them have QR codes though. I think this one's mine. Oh yeah, because okay, this one's Jim's luck. That's right. I grabbed Jim's. Okay. This one's Jim's luck. So this is the one he opened and was like, I want it, and took it back. And then I ordered my own luck. So, and then she's got a little outfit. So I was going to talk about that later. This is my luck. With a little outfit on. So this is my luck and loyalty. So now I have luck, loyalty, happiness. So now I got 3. And then my secret, which is now wearing a shrimp costume. So again, we'll talk about that in 1 second. So David's got the secret and the love. Jim has this is hope and luck. And Emily has the secret Lafufu, serenity, and a loyalty. And then we are done. We are done, sort of. We're done. I'm done. I really, like I said, I kind of want a seated one. Tempted, and again, I'm never probably gonna wear it on my bag because again, they look pretty legitimate. So someone might steal it, or I live with a bunch of crazy people around here that might just yell at me that I'm like some kind of demon lover, and I really just don't want the attention. But I like the idea of putting it on my little crossbody bag. But for now, they're gonna live on my yarn wall, probably maybe right here, so we can see them in the display. So that has been the Labubu journey. I got the second round from the reseller. And in the meantime, there's also a shrimp that I want. So yes, I want a seated one, but I really want the shrimp. It is a Labubu shrimp, and it is an AirPod case holder. So it's a shrimp like this, but this is a costume. So this is what I use to make do, because I just, every time I see the shrimp, it just makes me smile. It's just like the stupidest looking thing ever. But it has a zipper case in the back, so you can put your AirPods, like your little headphones in there. And so it's more sideways. So I think the face is more this way on the actual shrimp. So he's like this and his head's this way. And then you have the zipper in the back. And I think it's the stupidest, cutest thing ever. I'll put a picture of it. And they're out of stock. They're only $25, $26, I think, if you get them on PopMart. But I don't want to order from PopMart because I don't trust it. So then I'm looking at resellers, and they're up charged $35, $45, $50. I'm like, I don't want to pay that. I don't like paying extra for that. So I don't know what I'm going to do. But so I appeased myself by ordering a shrimp costume from Amazon. And then I ordered the little dress because it was cute and it was on sale. So those are them. And last but not least, before I ordered those costumes, someone had knit a sweater. So of course I had to knit a sweater. And the ends are still not woven in. And I will put a picture in. I had the secret wearing the sweater. But now he's wearing the shrimp. And he's kind of pinned in there because the hole is so wide. I kind of like pinned it closed here, so it looks more like he's snug in there. But here's my Labubu sweater. It's a little tad big, but it's cute. And it looks really cute on the gray one because I just picked some random scrap yarn just to see if I could make a sweater just off the top of my head. So I did pretty good doing this like just randomly. So I cast on 48 stitches maybe, or is that what I want to do next time? I don't remember. And then just did like 6 or so increases down on each side. Like I split off to like 8 stitches per sleeve. And it was like 16 and 16. So whatever that comes up to being. So I would like to make it a tad smaller or use smaller needles. I used size 2. I think I used size 2. I don't even remember. And hopefully I put my needles back. I'm a hot mess. I am a hot mess express. So, but there's my Labubu sweater that needs to go on somebody. I don't know who gets to wear the sweater now. Maybe I'll put it on one of the kids' secrets. I don't know. And the ends need to be woven in. So that is that. So in the meantime, PopMart shipping just keeps going wilder and wilder. So I mentioned USPS was having problems. And yes, the more I read things is why I don't want to order anymore. So there are like just a whole slew of packages being confiscated for insufficient postage. So they're being confiscated for like mail fraud essentially. And PopMart isn't really doing a lot about it. And it's possibly the fault of the third-party shipper. There's wrong addresses on things. There's just something's going on. So people are not getting their packages. So like people are literally spending hundreds of dollars, multiple packages, not getting them. They're like going all over the place, and then eventually like some of them have said like USPS is going to destroy them, like instead of instead of resolving it, they'll just destroy them. So it's really shameful. So, but it's not stopping people from ordering. That's the problem. So like, but it is causing a lot of chargebacks. So I don't know how that works for a large corporation to get a lot of chargebacks. Like for small business, that can put you out of business. For a large corp like Pop Mart, I don't know if it does anything. They don't like it. So usually when you file a chargeback, then they'll instantly try to resolve your issue. So that's a thing. So they obviously don't want the chargebacks, but it doesn't seem to be solving the problem. And people are still excited about the new drops and etc. Oh, there's another new drop. I mentioned the Joker series. There is one that was in between there. It was called Pin for Love. And it's like each little Labubu is like half the size of these, and they all represent a letter. So there's an A through Z, and you can buy like a whole pack of A through N or something, and then M through Z. Blind boxes again. So everyone's trying to get their favorite letter or favorite color, and they're all different colors and whatever. And yeah, so people are reselling all the duplicates of the A through Z line too. So it's like, it's wild. It is wild. But I would not recommend ordering from Pop Mart directly currently, just until things settle down. And right now it feels like the trend is sort of slowing down a little bit, but they're still out of stock. But they're starting to get stock in some of the brick and mortar stores, which there's not very many of them in the US. It doesn't, from what I gather, there's not a ton. I'm curious if they're going to have more at our vending machine soon. I haven't been over them all in a while, so I don't know what it looks like. If they have a seated one, I would maybe get a blind box. If they had the shrimp case, I would be all over that, but I don't know if they sell that in the vending machine anyways. It's the wild, wild west, really. So last but not least, I want to shout out to Tina, one of the best Lafufus ever. So the Lafufu game is real. Like there are ones that are bald, there's ones that look like dogs, there's ones that make noises, like they sing a little song and they light up, and then there's Tina, who has an Instagram page that you should follow, whose face is upside down. And she's not the only one. There's been a couple that the face was printed upside down. So little Tina has an upside down face, and she's living her best life. And it just makes me smile. Honestly, like I said, the community is like really wholesome. Everyone's super like friendly, and like and honestly, Reddit is more of a liberal friendly atmosphere that attracts those type of people that are like just like all for supporting each other and supporting the hobby. And you know, there's a couple bad seeds that come in, obviously, that try to spoil everyone's fun, but for the most part, everyone's just trying to have fun and have a slice of positivity in this crazy world. So that's where I'm at. That is my Lafufu or Lafufu journey. Like I said, I'm pretty much content. Again, like if I stumble across someone that's reselling a shrimp case for a reasonable price, I might get it. If it's and again, I'm very particular. I don't want to buy from somebody that's never swapped before because I don't want to be scammed. If I see a seeded one in a store somewhere, even if it's a Lafufu, I don't know, I was tempted to buy. I can buy the shrimp case and a seeded one from the same seller I got these ones. So maybe if they have another $5 sale, that was like a flash sale, I would consider it. But I don't know what it is. Like I know it's fake, and it kind of like bothers me that it's fake because like I kind of want it to be authentic. Like I bought this potentially maybe wear on my purse because if it got stolen or lost, it wouldn't matter. But again, I don't want the attention, so that's kind of, they're just gonna live in my craft room anyways. So, but if I get a seeded one or the shrimp case, I kind of want it to be legit. I don't know why. It's just this weird. It's a weird thing. The collectible scene is weird, and again, I'm not like super into collecting them all or anything, so I'm not gonna fall down that path. But yeah, so that is my Labubu story. Thanks for sticking around if you watch this whole thing. Again, I'm hoping to be back with a little short to just kind of update you on some of my crafts. If I come up across other topics that are fun to talk about, I'll try to do that because it's been a heck of a year. It's been a heck of a month. It's been a heck of a week. It's been a heck of a day, one day at a time. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media as the Cat Lady on Instagram. That's usually where I'm at. I have a Facebook page as well, the Cat Lady group or something. Just Just search the Cat Lady 2Ts wherever on social media and you can find me. So thanks for watching. I will put any links that I think of putting down below, just some of the Reddit pages or, the Popmark website, etc. Some anything that seems important. So I will catch you next time. Hope you get to craft all the things and Labubu all the things. Craft for your Labubus.